Hey up, it's Steve. I'm big. There we go. Hey up, it's Steve from the old Yorkshire geek. Hang on, let's adjust my camera a bit. Hang on, I'm a bit. There we go. There we go. It's Steve from the old Yorkshire geek, and welcome to my midweek news roundup. Formerly Rumble Wednesday, but now it's everywhere. Ha ha. Apologies for my camera. I think it's a bit choppy, isn't it? I fiddled with it, and I can't do anything with it. Maybe it's just a crap camera. I don't know. If I can't get it any better, I'll go back to my old one. Right, so we've got some news. Hope you enjoyed the bit of music, by the way, in the little 3-minute pre-show thing I did. I just thought I'd try something. Right, let's get this news up. Let me get myself sorted. Right, so the news. By the way, before we start, all the links are in the description down below, or wherever they are, wherever you're watching. We're live on YouTube, Twitch, and Rumble. As I said, links are in the description down below. And don't forget, like and subscribe or follow or whatever it is. Drop a comment, share the videos, drop a comment. Join me in the live chat and all that stuff. And we'll talk about what's going on in the geeky world. By the way, Johnny Depp's back, in case you haven't noticed. He's everywhere today in the news. Johnny Depp's back because he's at Cannes. Anyway, but I'm not covering that. Even though I do like Johnny Depp. Right, news. There we go. I've got the wrong thing up, haven't I? There we are. That's a bit better. Oh, you can hear me. I better check, haven't I? Make sure I'm going on all cylinders. If you can hear my voice in a minute. Yes, we are. We're going. Just thought I'd better check before I continue. Right, first up from the direct, the Orville season 4. Will it release or get cancelled? And it's anybody's guess, isn't it? They seem to never know from season to season, do they, if it's coming back. The Orville season 3 wrapped up in August of last year, and many have wondered if Seth MacFarlane's fan favourite science fiction show will be renewed or cancelled before season 4. Hulu's The Orville, which began its life on Fox, when it went to Hulu, it became Orville New Horizons, didn't it? For some reason. Might not have been the most watched series ever, but the Seth MacFarlane produced Star Trek Homage had a lot of things going for it, with a strong ensemble cast, emotionally compelling storylines, not to mention dazzling special effects. One would think a show like that would set the world on fire. But as is often the case with genre television, the audience wasn't always there. I think it were there when it were on Fox. Only when it moved to Hulu, it kind of lost numbers. But they always do with streaming, don't they? You always get more viewers on, regular TV than on streaming. I don't know why they took it off. Disney, innit? Anyway, is Orville returning for season 4? Well, she's not. For the start, spoilers. Oh, pardon me. The short version, there hasn't been any official word of whether the Orville will return for a 4th season. And they say that every year. Not every year. Every season. I mean, what did season 3 take? Like 2 years before we saw it. Maybe longer, I can't remember. The longer version is slightly more complex. In April, star Adrian Pelicki, probably mispronouncing that, who played Commander Kelly Grayson, spoke to Den of Geek on the Orville's renewal chances. According to the actress, there have been rumblings about a comeback, but nothing concrete has yet come about. I mean, there have been talks, she said. There have been rumblings about it, but there's nothing official. Seth MacFarlane, who created the series and served as its lead actor, gave a response in March to a query on the show's status, making mention of the entertainment's current state of upheaval, likely referring to the now ongoing writers' strike. I don't know. I think there's other things as well, isn't there? The industry is in the midst of a time of upheaval and transition. I wish I could provide a definitive answer to your question. At the moment, all I can say is that I remain cautiously optimistic. I don't think you were talking about the writer's strike there. I think we're talking about just streaming in general being a bit up in the air at the moment, and studios are cutting costs and all that, particularly Disney, who now own the Orville. So I think you were referring to that, after COVID and all that, COVID was a big boon on it for the streaming industry because everybody was stuck at home and wanted things to watch. So the companies thought streaming was a big what's the word thingy? That's not the word I'm thinking of. Was the way to go, and then they found that it's not. Anyway, like I said, licensing is the way to go, as it always has been. You can make more money from licensing than doing your own thing, I bet. Fewer overheads for a start. Furthermore, the Orville's art director, Kit Stollen, I presume it's Stollen because it's got that weird Scandinavian offered an update as well last month, also remarking on the uneasy state of film and television productions. We're still hoping we get to do more. Film and TV streaming industry is having a weird moment, so everything is frozen till it gets worked out. I can see a whisker. It just keeps popping every time I speak. It just keeps popping into my eyeline. Bloody thing. Stollen additionally stated that the cast and crew would love to continue. It's there again. Would love to continue, but the decision is not in their hands. There's a whole universe of stories to tell, and certainly no desire to end it, just at the mercy of greater forces. So, what are the chances of season 4 of the Orville? The Orville always faced an uphill battle with regard to establishing popularity. I don't know. Like I said, season 1 and 2 were massive, in my opinion, miles more than Star Trek, particularly season 2. Anyway, Seth MacFarlane is known far and wide for his animated sitcoms such as Family Guy and American Dad, and it's easy to imagine that when people heard that MacFarlane was developing a sci-fi series, they probably pictured Family Guy in space. And indeed, Orville's initial marketing painted it as an irreverent, over-the-top comedy, but the show was simply so much more than that. At first, it was a bit, broad comedy with fart jokes and stuff like that. But as it went on, they got fewer and far between the comedy aspects. And it got more serious and good. But season 3 were a bit of a disappointment in my opinion. But never mind. They never attained the heights of season 2. A lovingly produced and thoughtfully portrayed homage, whatever you pronounce it, to the best of 1990s era Star Trek is what was brought to audiences, especially in the second and third seasons, as the series gradually pivoted to a more serious tone. It ended with a wedding, for God's sake. God, I hate that. With the Writers Guild of America currently in the trenches amid a work stoppage that shows no present signs of ending, perhaps it's a safe bet that the Orville will not be renewed for another run. This is very much the consensus among its fan base. I suppose when the writers start getting hungry, then they'll go back to work, won't they? I mean, I shouldn't be laughing at industrial relations and all that, and fair day's pay for a fair day's work and all that. But people have got to eat, haven't they, and pay the bills. Also a factor, the Walt Disney Company, which owns Hulu, is in a major cost-cutting phase and is expected to be much pickier in the shows and films it greenlights. With the Orville's low viewership, since all 3 seasons were added to Disney Plus in addition to streaming on Hulu, maybe this cast and crew have taken their final voyage with the show. Fans can at least take solace in that the storyline concluded on a satisfying and fairly definitive note. Not really. Not really. It ended with a wedding. That's not a definitive note. Plus, that new bad guys out there, isn't there? We made friends with Isaac and his people. I've forgotten all the names of the races, but the baddies are still out there. Anyway, so there we go. I think it will be back, but maybe with a lower budget, which might make it better. To be honest. Might make it better, fingers crossed. Right, well, moving from Orville, we'll go to Star Trek. Hang on, I'm doing this all wrong, aren't I? I usually do it like this, don't I? I usually go like that and go full screen, and I forgot. There we go. Make it look a bit more processional. Yes, I all my tabs. Anyway, Star Trek Legacy isn't a real show yet, but fans and stars are clamoring for it. This is from The Wrap. Is that a famous one? It sounds famous, isn't it? Was it a TV show? I don't know. I'm not American, so I don't know these things. A petition to have Star Trek Picard showrunner Terry Matalas helm a spin-off series nears 50,000 signatures. And there's Beverly and Picard and Jack Crusher on the bridge of it looks a very smoky-looking Enterprise D. Maybe it's just the lighting. If you follow Star Trek on Twitter and other social media spaces, you'd think that Star Trek Legacy is a real show, given all the buzz surrounding it. A change.org petition run by, started by the podcast guy, Shane and Brian, go subscribe to them, etc. A change.org petition to have Paramount's Star Trek Picard showrunner Terry Matalas helm the proposed spin-off is closing in on 50,000 signatures. Hashtag Star Trek Legacy. Hashtag TerryTrek, which would change its status on the site to top signed. But alas, Legacy isn't on the current or future Trek slate, look likely in the near future, but never count out the power of the Star Trek fandom, which has supported the franchise for nearly 6 decades, including fallow periods of no television or theatrical production. Here's what you need to know about Legacy and why Trek fans and stars are clamoring for it. Right, what is Star Trek Legacy? Oh, sorry, a little drinky. Cold coffee again. And it's not a frappuccino. That's cold coffee, isn't it? Like coffee with ice in. I don't know. I'm such a bumpkin. I once went, somewhere, civilized. And I think it was either a Starbucks or a Costa Coffee. I can't remember. And I looked at the array on the menu, whatever they call it, the board. I had no idea what I was ordering. So I said, I'll have a frappuccino. And I didn't even know what it was. And I got a glass of cold coffee, didn't I? I wasn't impressed. Oh dear. Tell you, I'm a bumpkin. Right. By the way, I've just noticed on my can you see me down here? Last time I did this, I had black bars on the left and right of me, like hemmed in with these black bars, and they've gone now for some reason, and I don't know why. Weird. Anyway, it is unclear where the Legacy moniker originated. Terry Matalas. That's where it originates. He said that's what he'd call his show. The third season of Picard reunited the principal cast of Star Trek The Next Generation, which aired from 1987 to 1994, for what was touted as a final adventure. The cast, which includes Patrick Stewart as Jean-Luc Picard, Jonathan Frakes as William T. Riker, Brent Spiner as Data, and various other Sung people. LeVar Burton as Geordie LaForge, Gates McFadden, Beverly Crusher, Marina Sirtis as Deanna Troi, and Michael Dorn as Worf could themselves be described as legacy characters. The term can also be those characters' children, their legacies, introduced in Picard Season 3. They include Jack Crusher, Ed Speleers, Sidney LaForge, Ashley Sharp-Chestnut, great name, and Alandra LaForge, Micah Burton, I don't know, LeVar's real-life daughter. So where does Trek Legacy fit in the Trek timeline? Star Trek Legacy would ostensibly pick up after the events of Star Trek Picard, approximately 25 years after The Next Generation. Season 3 ended with a one-year time jump that would establish the foundation of the new series. Captain 7 of 9, Jerry Ryan, is in command of the USS Enterprise G, formerly the USS Titan. Shouldn't have done that. With Jack Crusher serving his first field assignment on board as special counselor. Although he's been shown to be adept at several roles, including pilot and engineer, who would star in Star Trek Legacy, right? As the newly christened USS Enterprise G pulled out of space dock, its bridge crew comprised of Captain 7 of 9, Jerry Ryan, First Officer Raffi Musica, Michelle Hurd, so commander, Special Counselor Ensign Jack Crusher, Ed Speleers, Helmsman Lieutenant Sidney LaForge, Ashley Sharp-Chestnut, great name, Communications Officer, I think he's a Lieutenant Esma, Jin Mealy. That's that alien woman, isn't it, Esma? But I think she's a lieutenant. Tactical Officer Lieutenant Moore, and I think that's Joseph Lee. I think Matthew Muir or something, but he's Bajoran, so is he half Bajoran? I don't know. But anyway, Alandra LaForge held the rank of lieutenant and could be slotted in, and even Kestra Lulu Wilson, the daughter of Riker and Troy, was enrolled in Starfleet Academy. Since none of the Next Generation cast was killed in Picard, they could stop by for cameo appearances. Not only not killed, we even brought one back in Data. But never mind. Which were cool and amazing, to be honest. I loved it. How funny would it be if Jack Crusher got a care package and holographic message addressed from his parents, Admirals Picard and Crusher? Why, yeah, Beverly were promoted to Admiral. And even the dead don't necessarily stay dead, hinted that he could bring back Captain Liam Shaw, Todd Stashwick, who valiantly gave his life in episode 9, spoilers, back for legacy in some manner. Like I said, did we see him die? I don't know. Did we see his heart stop? It looked as though he died, but you never know. It's science fiction. Nobody's really gone. Why do fans want Terry Matalas as showrunner/writer? The petition reads, Terry Matalas is a Star Trek veteran who helped Star Trek Voyager, Deep Space Nine and Enterprise boldly go forward in the Star Trek universe. And he has now created in Star Trek Picard Season 3 what we believe is the best season of Star Trek. I don't know about that. I mean, they've gone a bit overboard, to be honest. I love, Shane and Brian, the podcast guys, but they did go a bit overboard with Picard Season 3. It's nowhere near the best season of Star Trek. It's good, and I loved it. Nowhere near the best. Nearly all Trek fans enjoy and support Picard Season 3, and Matalas has expertly navigated the galaxy of Trek legacy and in a way that has truly stunned and thrilled many lifelong fans. We would like Paramount Studio executives and Star Trek head Alex Kurtzman to pat themselves on the back for finding this talented showrunner and giving him more work. Indeed, Matalas, who rose up the Trek production ranks, has been praised for bringing back the Next Generation crew, but also weaving in the storylines, the Dominion War, and other things, and characters 7 of 9, Tuvok from Deep Space Nine and Voyager. What are you talking about? Oh, right. Dominion War from Deep Space Nine and 7 and 9 and Tuvok from Voyager. Yeah. He's also a true Trekker and seeded the series with hundreds of Easter eggs. I think who wrote this must be a Trekker, must know the Trek, because people that aren't into Star Trek usually put Trekkie, don't they? Whereas if you're serious about it, you call yourself a Trekker for some reason. I'm either, I don't care. What could the Star Trek Legacy plot be about? Matalas smartly left the show with a major cliffhanger and cameo. Q. John Delancey. Oh, man, so they brought 2 characters back who were apparently dead. Well, technically 3 if you include the Borg Queen. Spoilers. Q. John Delancey appeared to Jack Crusher and told him that his humanity trial is just beginning. There's certainly a lot that Jack is directly, or indirectly responsible for. The genocide of the Borg. That's to be confirmed. That's a TBC, in it. I mean, we got rid of some Borg, but I still think, in my head canon, that the Borg are still out there in the Delta Quadrant somewhere. But I think we've got rid of the immediate threat of the Borg. But I think they'll be back at some point. Massive casualties upon Starfleet. Yep. A lot of over 25s seemingly were killed. You'd know if you watched it, you know what I mean. And whatever else he may have done during his pre-Starfleet days as a smuggler, the show may also explore the on-off romance between Seven and Raffi. Oh, no, I hope not. As well as the burgeoning romance between Sydney and Jack. Yeah, there were hints at that, which would be nice, but not the Seven and Raffi, because that just came out of nowhere. What the cast and crew are saying about Star Trek Legacy. Most of the Picard cast and crew have publicly supported the Legacy series, even though the show doesn't currently fit in the announced Star Trek slate. I hope one day that it happens, Matalas told The Wrap at the Picard finale party last month. Unfortunately, it's up to the television gods. It's beyond me. I hope one day that that's something we get to do. That would be this time period of the 25th century, and these characters, these legacy characters in this particular generation, Jack Crusher, Sidney LaForge, and Alandra LaForge, I just think I would love to see more. McFadden and Stewart even teased that fans will have to wait until Legacy to find out if Crusher and Picard end up together. Well, they've been together, haven't they? Obviously, at some point. Excuse me. But I think there was a hint that they may have got together and even been married, maybe, because Jack had a photo that appeared to be a wedding photo, but I don't know. It was probably taken at some premiere. Anyway, I think anything's possible, added executive producer Alex Kurtzman. Yeah, well, through gritted teeth. He hates this idea. We've been very careful to make sure that we're building this universe meticulously. While it may appear that we're in the volume business, we actually are not. And I want to make sure that all of our shows, that when with all of our shows, that when we tell a story, I don't know what that means. Oh, sorry, we have a reason to tell it. And we got to where we got to in season 3 of Picard because we had a reason to tell it. You didn't care. You sodded off to do your other shows that failed. You didn't care about it, and you're surprised that it was so good and so popular and broke into the top 10 Nielsen charts, unlike the other shows that he produced, Alex. So what I would say is the fan should continue to be very vocal for it. We hear you. We're so happy to hear it. We're so happy that they're so happy. And again, anything's possible. It is not happy. Alex Kurtzman's not happy. It's probably, mildly amused that it's successful because he's got his name on it as executive producer. But it wasn't his idea. He had nothing to do with it. As I said, he was busy doing his Man Who Fell to Earth and I forgot the name, Clarice show thing that failed miserably, like most things he does. I'm surprised he's lasted so long on Star Trek, to be honest, because he's driven that into the ground mostly. Only this last couple of years, it's kind of picked itself up with Strange New Worlds and Prodigy, and now Picard season 3. So maybe he's learned his lesson. Maybe he has. He don't seem to have because he's going full steam ahead with his blooming Star Trek Starfleet Academy. Isn't he? That's in the 32nd century. Why? Nobody cares. Nobody cares about Discovery in the 32nd century, apart from, one or two people. There'll always be somebody. Right, anyway, we'll leave it there. So anyway, yeah, so Star Trek Legacy is going to happen, I believe. But it won't be soon. It'll be a couple of years away, at least, because of this pesky writer's strike. It'd have been handy if Terry had rattled off a spec script for it, wouldn't he? For like a movie or something, a pilot episode, a feature-length pilot episode. They could have got that into production, couldn't they? Just something for the fans, but they didn't. But anyway, luckily, we've got a Babylon 5 animated film coming, haven't we? And we've got Strange New World Season 2, which I'm kind of dreading, although I did enjoy Season 1. Bought the Blu-ray. That's the only new Trek thing I've bought physical media of is Strange New Worlds Season 1. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Right, so, ba-doom. We'll go on to the next story. Can't see my keyboard. The light went off. Right, next up, bit of Arnie. Bit of Arnie for you. Right, add to stream. There we go. Right, Arnold, this is from Bounding into Comics, so it could get spicy. I know I've got to say that. It's in my contract, if I had one. There he is. That's obviously from Dark Fate, because it's Carl's Draperies, because, they made him a drapist. Arnold Schwarzenegger says he's done with Terminator, admits Genisys and Dark Fate were just not well written. He didn't say that at the time, did he? But none of them do they? Because they're contractually obligated to promote what they're in. But there he is. Terminator actor Arnold Schwarzenegger bluntly stated that he's done with the Terminator franchise moving forward, while also admitting that both Genisys and Dark Fate were just not well written. I'm going to say was walking away from some sort of dumpster fire there. But it says here, Arnold Schwarzenegger as Luke Brunner in episode 1 of Fubar. There we go. I presume we'll learn about that in a moment. By the way, I didn't mind Genisys and Dark Fate, to be completely honest. I thought they were fine for what they were. I've enjoyed all the Terminator films. Some more than others, obviously. The early ones are the best. But I did really like Terminator Salvation because that was different. It tried something different. And for some reason, fans didn't like it. So they went back to do what they'd done before with Genisys and Dark Fate, which were essentially the same stories, but tweaked. And fans didn't like it. But I didn't mind them, to be honest. I didn't mind them. I didn't love them either, but I didn't mind them. Right, Schwarzenegger conducted a wide-ranging interview with the Hollywood Reporter. There's a link if you want to go read the wide-ranging interview, discussing everything from the media slaughtering Last Action Hero due to his politics. That's a bit, I've only seen it a couple of times, that Last Action Hero. I remember Charles Dance with his contact lenses in. I can't really remember much about it, going into the cinema screen, etc. I've got it somewhere. On the... I've got it on DVD. I've got it on VHS. I can't actually remember. Anyway, due to his politics, his own personal growth and belief in God, his divorce, and his upcoming Netflix series, Fubar. Right. When he was asked if the Terminator franchise feels done, Schwarzenegger said, no, the franchise is not done. I'm done. That's what it just sounded like. It is. I'll not do it again. He then added, I got the message loud and clear that the world wants to move on with a different theme when it comes to the Terminator. Do they? They just want a good Terminator film. That's what they want. They mind themes. Schwarzenegger went on to reveal that he knew Genisys and Dark Fate would not perform well due to poor scripts. Still took the money though, didn't you? Arnie. He said someone has come up with a great idea. The Terminator was largely responsible for my success, so I always would look at it very fondly. The first 3 movies were great. Yeah, they were fine. I like Terminator 3. I don't see why people have a problem with that. It had some great stunts in it. And it were cool. Plus, the Terminatrix is super hot. I forgot her name now. I've got her autograph. Anyway, number 4, Salvation, which I really like. I was not in because I was governor. He was kind of in it. He were kind of in it. But not, he wasn't technically there, but they recreated his face, didn't they, for a T800. Then 5, Genisys, and 6, Dark Fate didn't close the deal as far as I'm concerned, but he still took the money. We knew that ahead of time because they were just not well written. We? Who's we? Is that the royal we? Must be. There he is. Come with me if you want to live. Schwarzenegger's admission about Dark Fate is a far cry from producer James Cameron's comments on the film. Yeah. Speaking with Deadline last December, Cameron admitted he was actually reasonably happy with the film. Yeah, and he said the same about Genisys as well. He continued, director Tim Miller and I had our battles, and we've both spoken about that. But the crazy thing is, we're still pals, which is weird. I liked him before the movie. I didn't like him very much during the movie, and I like him now. And I think he feels the same way. We're both these crazy sci-fi geeks, and we like a lot of the same things. And I love his show. Love Death and Robots. Yeah, it's cool. That's on Netflix. But yeah, we butted heads. And then that's Tim Miller. And I don't know who that is. Remember he did Deadpool, the first Deadpool film. That's what he's most famous for, I think. Cameron then shared what he believed was the problem with the film, despite claiming he was happy with it. I think the problem, and I'm going to wear this one, is that I refused to do it without Arnold. Tim didn't want Arnold, but I said, look, I don't want that. Arnold and I have been friends for 40 years. I could hear it, and it would go like this. Jim, I can't believe you're making a Terminator movie without me. It just didn't mean that much to me to do it, but I said, if you guys could see your way clear to bringing Arnold back, and then, I'd be happy to be involved. Means they'd be happy to put his name on as like an executive producer or something like that and get the money that entails. Plus, it looks good on the marketing, doesn't it? James Cameron is produced by James Cameron, even though he probably had little to do with it. He continued, and then Tim wanted Linda. I think what happened is, I think the movie could have survived having Linda in it. I think it could have survived having Arnold in it. But when you put Linda and Arnold in it, and then, she's 60-something, he's 70-something, all of a sudden, it wasn't your Terminator movie. It wasn't even your dad's Terminator movie. It was your granddad's Terminator movie. And we didn't see that. Be ageist there, James. I think they both look fine. I mean, look at them. They both look fine for their ages. It wasn't their fault, I don't think, that the film failed. It was the rest of the cast, to be honest, the younger ones that were the weak link in the film, but they were fine. We loved it. We thought it was cool, that we were making this sort of direct sequel to a movie that came out in 1991, and young movie-going audiences weren't born. They wouldn't even have been born for another 10 years, Cameron relayed. So it was just our own myopia. We kind of got a little high on our own supply, and is that supposed to rhyme? And I think that's the lesson there. Is that a line from a song? Probably. I think that's the lesson there. He asserted. And there they are again, looking very well for their ages. Director Tim Miller previously blamed Get Woke and Go Broke for the film's box office failure, telling Kim Masters on her podcast, The Business with Kim Masters, there was a lot of Get Woke and Go Broke sentiment that didn't help us, but it's true though. When asked to explain, he stated there was a lot of issues about having 3 women in lead positions and all of that stuff. There's quite a toxic atmosphere around this film online, which I was really surprised at. Excuse me. Oh, dear. I shouldn't be, but I was. Brunch. That's my excuse. There they are. There's Mackenzie Davis. Making out that I can remember her name, it's written there. Mackenzie Davis, Natalie Reyes. I didn't mind her in the film either, to be honest. I thought she played quite a good part. Could eat some pies, but never mind. I like a more fuller figure, I've got to admit. Anyway, during the film's promotion, Miller described Terminator fans as closet misogynists in an interview with Variety. When asked about the reaction to the film's Dark Fate poster, Miller stated, if you're at all enlightened, she'll play like gangbusters. If you're a closet misogynist, she'll scare the F out of you because she's tough and strong but very feminine. I don't know, I won't call her feminine. She was tough and strong, and yeah, she was a female, but was she feminine? I don't know. But I didn't mind her. He added, we did not trade certain gender traits for others. She's just very strong, and that frightens some dudes. You can see online the responses to some of the early shit, I'm going to say it, that's out there. Trolls on the internet, I don't give a F. I'll not go that far. My brothers and sisters might be watching and get cross with me for swearing. What do you mean? There's Arnie again. What do you make of Schwarzenegger stepping away from the Terminator franchise? What about his assessment that he knew the film would struggle at the box office because it wasn't well written? Well, he's saying that stepping away from the Terminator franchise, which means in the next year it'll be announced in the new Terminator film, Terminator Redux or something like that. I bet it is. I bet it does. Terminator 1.12, I don't know. They'll think of something, won't they? Terminator, the return of Skynet. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Right. Just make myself big again. Just while I faff. Just while I faff. Where is it? F11. I'll just check the other streams. Make sure we're still going. Come on, you catch up. Whatever. Yes, we're still going on Rumble. And yes, we're going on Twitch. By the way, I had 2 Twitch followers a few days ago. Then I did a stream about how I don't like The Princess Bride. And now I've just got 1 Twitch follower. So I apologise to that Twitch follower if my dislike of The Princess Bride caused you to unfollow me. But, it's a free country. Right, where were we? Right, next up, Captain America. Right, F11. There we go. I pressed the wrong button onto stream. Oh, see, I keep pressing the wrong buttons because I'm a div. There we go. There we go. Right, Captain America 4 set pics and footage reveal Sam Wilson's new suit. Except he's not Captain America, is he? Is Sam Wilson, isn't it? What's his name? His character now? I've forgotten. Falcon. That's it. Falcon. I'm thinking Hawk, but no, I think that's Hawkeye, isn't it? But no, yeah, Falcon. Photos from Captain America: New World Order. Dun dun dun. They're watching you. Their pyramid eye. Shooting in Atlanta revealed Cap's new suit and a first appearance by the baddie played by WWE star Seth freaking Rollins. And there he is from the series, isn't he? That's from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which started off really well. That first episode I thought were ace, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then it kind of went downhill after that. And I want to know, is he going to take Super Soldier serum? Because he's just a normal guy, isn't he, with a Falcon suit. Captain America could hold down helicopters and do all this amazing stuff, rip trees in half with his bare hands. What can he do? He can say, "You've got to do better, Senator." Legacy has been part of superhero storytelling almost from the beginning. When one character can no longer maintain their super moniker, they pass it on to another, creating a chain of heroes with different takes on the same identity. Traditionally, legacy heroes have been more of a DC Comics thing than a Marvel thing, resulting in more flashes than Thor's. But with its ever-expanding live-action universe, the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is embracing the legacy concept as new actors take on established names. We've already seen glimpses of this with Jane Foster becoming Thor in Thor: Love and Thunder, a film which I've still not seen. I've started watching it, and I got through the beginning bit with Christian Bale, which I thought, they were okay. But then as soon as the shenanigans began with the Guardians and Thor doing the splits and stuff like that, it went off. It went off. I thought, no, this is stupid. And Shuri stepping in as Black Panther after the death of her brother T'Challa. Why didn't they just recast him? I don't know. They recast General Thingamabob, didn't they? From William Hurt to Harrison Ford pretty quick after William Hurt died. So why didn't they recast T'Challa when Chadwick Boseman died? As well as potential legacy characters with Kate, because it was a reason, excuse for them to get a woman in there, wasn't it? That's what it was, because it's the MCU, isn't it? Anyway, as well as potential legacy characters with Kate Bishop's Hawkeye, ditto, and Yelena Belova's White Widow. Although I do like her that plays Yelena Belova. I forgot the name there. Me and names, but it's her eyes. Her eyes get me. Anyway, but Sam Wilson's path to becoming Captain America has been underway for some time, ever since the elderly Steve Rogers handed him the shield at the end of Avengers Endgame. That was terrible. Well, it was awful. It looked like Joe Biden for a start. And it was like, if that's the case, then obviously Steve Rogers went back in time, just decided to hang up his shield, and not be a superhero anymore, just so he could be with Agent What's-her-face, Hayley Atwell, which, I'd do that as well, because, it's Hayley Atwell, and all's said and done. Peggy Carter. And all this stuff went on, and he never resurfaced, did he? We didn't have two Captain Americas at the same time, did we? Which we should have done. A younger one and an older one. Because obviously he'll still be full of beans from his super soldier serum, won't he? Anyway, where Love and Thunder clearly intended Jane's mighty Thor to be a limited role and it took most of Black Panther Wakanda Forever for Shuri to take the mantle. I've not watched that. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier already explored Sam's journey, which I did see, but it was terrible at the end, wasn't it? Allowing Captain America New World Order, they're watching you, to begin with him in the suit. Right, if new set photos are to be believed, that suit will be slightly different than the one that debuted in the final episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Photographer Christopher Oquendo, was able to snap some pictures of the movie filming in Atlanta, including a bit of Anthony Mackie in his new Cap costume. Gone is the white trimming of his previous suit, including the head sock that drew unfavorable comparisons to 90s comics. In its place is a largely blue costume with red and white trimmings and a gold star insignia replacing the white one from before. Now, here we go. You see that? If I click on it, is it going to make it big? Let's see. Right. Only going to make it. There we go. That's better, isn't it? There you go. It looks similar to what Steve Rogers wore in like Civil War and after that, didn't it? Similar, obviously not Not the same. I'm saying it's a similar vibe. That dark blue. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, heck. And there's Seth freaking Rollins. Was actually, it's bigger than you think, isn't it? You see him on WWE and you think he's one of the smaller wrestlers, but he's actually pretty big, isn't he? Big, big fella. I think he's over 6 foot or 6 foot at least. Is that another character there? Looks like it, doesn't it? She's got some sort of tattoo there on her arm of a web, something to do with Spider-Man. Don't know. Probably not. Is that a side shave or is it, a weave or whatever they call it? I don't know. But yes, good old Seth freaking Rollins. And is that it? That's it for that, isn't it? So I can get out of that now. How do I go back? How do I go back? I think I have to make myself big while I extricate myself from this. I'm bloody useless. I am. Go away. Right, where were we? I'm so professional. Right, we're off again. We're off and running again. There we go. So we saw them. Right, a second photo shows a bystander holding the iconic shield, which means that Captain America will still have his primary tool. However, from the one available shot, it's unclear if Sam will still be using his Falcon wings as he did in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier and in the comics, or if he'll be following Steve's more sleek look. Is that the other one showing the bystander holding the shield? Trying to make out. I mean, he could just be holding it. It could be like somebody that works, an assistant on set is just holding it for in between takes or something. Don't know, do we? Don't know. Aquendo also managed to capture a first look at another anticipated part in the movie, WWE wrestler Seth Rollins in an undisclosed villain role. Rollins stands in a green and yellow outfit, the traditional colour scheme of evil thanks to Hydra and Loki, consisting of a duster over matching shirt and pants, topped by Rollins' flowing bleach blonde hair. The get-up, wonder if he'll be laughing like he does on the The get-up suggests he may be playing a member of the snake-themed villain group, the Serpent Society, potential antagonist for the fourth film. And there's a video there of Seth Rollins and the blonde-haired woman that we saw that had like webs on her, tattooed on her arms. What's that got to do with snakes? Don't know. Rollins will be joined by Tim Blake Nelson as Samuel Stearns, aka the leader, back from the Incredible Hulk. Okay. And Harrison Ford as General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, replacing the recently passed William Hurt. You see, they recast him, didn't they? Lickety split. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier showrunner Malcolm Spellman is writing the film with the Cloverfield Paradox's Julius Onah directing. And it's set to be released on May the 4th, 2024. Star Wars Day. Yeah. Steal some of Star Wars' thunder, why don't you? Captain America. Captain America. He's not Captain America. Steve Rogers is Captain America. And Peter Parker Spider-Man. And Miles Morales is Miles Morales. Right, we'll move on. That's nice to see anyway. The some set photos, which we always like, don't we? Right, let's move on. Right, here we go. Filoni's Star Wars film to be titled Heir to the Empire, says Barside Buzz. While this is interesting if true, the latest Barside buzz around Dave Filoni's Star Wars movie is that it would be titled Heir to the Empire. Now, old-timey fans like me will remember that title, and it actually makes a lot of sense. In the now Legends non-canon sequels, Heir to the Empire was the first in Timothy Zahn's famous trilogy of books. The main villain of Heir to the Empire was Grand Admiral Thrawn, and well, he's likely the main villain of Filoni's movie as well. I think we all knew Heir to the Empire would be a major influence on this movie. However, we also know this must be very far from an adaptation because that old canon story will simply not work in the Mandoverse. However, according to regular leaker My Time to Shine Hello, the title of the movie will be Heir to the Empire. Check it out. And there's this Shocker, not really. Dave Filoni's movie is called Star Wars: Heir to the Empire. Jon Favreau is only producing. For now, it's all Filoni. I don't think it'll be called that. I don't, because it's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? They don't like mouthfuls, you know. And it don't start with the. They like the film starting with the these days, don't they, for some reason. The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, The Rise of Palpatine. Sorry. What else was there? On the one, Rogue One and Solo, but they weren't, you know, mainstream, you know, mainline Star Wars films, were they? I actually like the idea of doing this, and it kind of matches an approach that Marvel has taken to their MCU. Infinity War, Civil War, The Winter Soldier, and more have been loosely based on the source material and kept the names. I feel like Heir to the Empire would be similar. I know it's not going to be the same, but there could be big influences taken, and that's cool. That all being said, this is just a rumour. I would say I trust whatever that stood for, MTTSH. I forgot already. Their record more on Marvel than any other studios. It's also an easy claim to make, then say, yeah, it got changed after internal feedback. I'm not saying that's the case here at all. I hope it does get that title because it will sell tickets. Well, maybe. Just have some caution for now until something more official hits. It'll sell tickets, you know, from, you know, fans, but not from the general public, I don't think. Because you know, your normies won't realise the connection, will they? I'm really looking forward to seeing Star Wars: Heir to the Empire, even if that's not what it gets called. As for the Filoni Favreau thing, I think we kind of knew that. Favreau takes the lead on Mando, Boba Fett, and probably Skeleton Crew, but Filoni is leading Ahsoka, and he knew he was writing and directing this film. What do you think of the buzz? That Dave Filoni Star Wars film will be titled Heir to the Empire. Thoughts below, as always. Yeah, like I say, I don't know. I don't think it'll be called that. I think they'll think of something else because they don't like going, you know, they'll steal from, you know, legends, won't they? But I don't think they'll name a film after a legend story. I don't think they'll call it something else. It might be similar, might be something along those lines. But there we go. So yeah, we'll leave it there. I think, as I said, it's just a rumor, and I don't think it'll happen. And I don't think it'd be a good title anyway, because I don't think it's not a particularly, you know, snappy title, is it? Heir to the Empire. It's heir's one of those funny words, isn't it? People thinking, you know, the norms will read it and misread it and think, what's hair got to do with it? They will. Anyway, we will leave that there, and we'll move on to the next one. Are we still going, by the way? I better check, haven't I? Yeah, we're still going. Nobody's left any messages. Nobody's left any messages. Right, where were we? We're back on Star Trek now. F11, there we go. We're back on Star Trek. That one. I nearly forgot which one to press then. Right, Star Trek Strange New World Season 2 reveals first look at the crossover episode. Crossover as in it's crossing over with Lower Decks, not crossover mirror universe thing. Unless it is, I don't know. I don't think it is, though. A new Star Trek Strange New World promo from Canadian network Crave offers the first glimpse at the upcoming episode guest starring the stars of Star Trek Lower Decks. I hate it. Jack Quaid and Tony Newsom playing their Lower Decks characters. I'm going to call it that. Ensigns Boulmer, I don't know how to tell it, and Mariner in live action for the first time. Are seen standing on the Enterprise transporter pad alongside Captain Pike and La'an. It's La'an, not Leanne, and La'an, Nooney and Singh in the new promo. As Spock delivers a Vulcan salute. You can see the promo below. Update: Crave has pulled the promo video. So there you go. So you can't see it. As you can see, hang on, when are we? Oh no, they haven't even included it. I saw it on some other sites, and it said, you know, they privated it, so it's still around with the video, but they've made it private so nobody could see it. Star Trek The Next Generation and Star Trek Picard star Jonathan Frakes, who has been directing Star Trek since his days working on TNG, will direct the episode. Well, he has directed the episode, making it his 30th episode of Star Trek as a director. Speaking to SFX previously, he said the crossover episode represents something new for Frakes since it has a comedic tone. By the way, I've the picture, a screenshot is available, which we'll look at in a moment. Oh, crikey. My ear just blocked up then. Is it going to rain? Oh, God, it's so good, Frakes said. What? I mean, Frakes said. Proofreaders. No, but they're bloody proofreaders, do they? I have Jack Quaid and Tawny Newsom, who are both amazing. By the way, Jack Quaid, you may know from The Boys. I think it's Dennis Quaid's son. I think he's, or is it Randy Quaid's? I think it's Dennis Quaid's son, isn't it? And Tawny Newsom, who are both amazing. It was such a treat for me because it is a flat-out comedy, full on, and they're fearless over there. They take some really big swings on Strange New Worlds. I like Strange New Worlds, apart from that final episode of season 1, which I hated. They're animated at the beginning and at the end. It's a clever and simple product. It's not really Roger Rabbit because what happens is these guys come over and they're humans and you accept them as soon as they're on the Enterprise. God, the two of them have got great energy and it freed up the acting company on Strange New Worlds, excuse me, to play more broadly. Anson's a wonderful comedian, very dry, but so's Rebecca. It encouraged Rebecca Romaine, plays number 1. It encouraged Ethan Peck, who plays Spock, and everyone. There were just a lot of positives that came out of them having the guts to do a full-on comedy. Well, that episode, an episode of season 1, weren't there, where they're all in dress up that were full-on comedy, and it was great. I loved that episode, especially Anne in that dress. Ooh, hots. Anyway, having the guts to do full-on comedy, then alone a crossover with an animated show. Then it's just, oh, I haven't done yet. Star Trek Strange New World Season 2 premieres on Paramount Plus on June the 16th, and Lower Decks crossover offers the opportunity for comedy, but star Anson Mount, who plays Captain Christopher Pike, previously hinted that it won't all be fun and games for the Enterprise crew, building on the moral greyness of the show's first season finale, A Quality of Mercy, which was terrible, in my opinion. Well, you'll have to see where we take that, Mount said, while helping to promote Paramount Plus's launch in European markets, because some of those themes go on in the second season and really asking those exact questions that you were just asking. Is it possible that intelligence can be so completely ripped apart from any sense of communication or idealism? That is there such a thing as a monster? Is that really possible? So yeah, we go down that exact road. And then we're talking about the first one. It's Lower Decks. First 3 seasons are streaming on Paramount Plus, and its 4th season is expected to debut this summer. I don't care because I don't like it. Didn't even finish watching season 1. It was awful. Right, anyway, let's have a look at this. I have to make myself big again, won't I? Is there a way? Is there like hotkeys for swapping between tabs that are full screen? I don't know. I don't know because I'm a boomer. Technically Gen X, but I'll say boomer. Right, so F11 again. Are you ready? So here we go. This is the screenshot that's got the internet going. So there's La'an, the lovely Christina Chong, and there's Anson Mount as Captain Pike, and there's Jack Quaid as Ensign Boimler. I don't know how to bloody say it. And Tawny, what's her face, as whoever she plays, Mariner. I don't know, but there they are. But as I said earlier on a Discord, maybe this will give them the chance to erase if they're going into the past. Remember, Lower Decks is set in the year 2383 or something like that. So it's like well over 100 years, 120 years or whatever, nearly in the future of Strange New Worlds. Maybe it'll give them a chance to erase Lower Decks from history, which would be a good thing in my opinion. But anyway, so there it is. We see them in the flesh with their 2383 uniforms. It's look awful. They look awful. Anyway, we will leave that there and I'll move on because I don't like Lower Decks. So there. So there, sue me. Right, we're getting there. Right, Mandalorian, go away. The deadline has loads of pop-ups. Pop-up, not pop-up adverts, but lots of pop-up little menus and stuff, and it does my head in. Right. F11. There we go. Here we go. The Mandalorian Season 4 start of production likely to be delayed due to writer's strike. And there's a little shit, because I hate him. I hate Grogu. I know I've grown to loathe him. Little get. The writer's strike may bring about a disturbance in the force. The current work stoppage already has disrupted the production of several TV series. Lucasfilm's The Mandalorian may join the last. According to sources, the flagship Disney Plus series, which will likely push the start of production for Season 4, will, while not officially announced, a fourth season has been fully expected. Series creator Jon Favreau confirmed earlier this year that the scripts for the new installment had all been completed. So why would that delay him then? Because he's lying. They haven't been completed. His notes on his post-it notes, his sticky notes, they've all been completed. And they're on his whiteboard. But he don't write scripts. He gives his notes for how he wants each episode to go, probably with the title, The Spies. And then he just sends them across town or has them scanned and emailed or copied, transcribed and emailed across town to somebody who can write them. Anyway, I hear filming on Season 4 The Mandalorian has been slated to begin in September. While there is some breathing room, I hear filming will likely be delayed. A rep for Lucasfilm had no comment. During a WGA strike, there is no writer present on set. Additionally, picketing often interrupts production as teamsters and crew members refuse to cross, which is what recently happened with fellow Disney Plus series Daredevil Born Again. The writer's strike, which started May the 2nd, is entering its third week. The Mandalorian stars Pedro Pascal as Mando, Din Djarin, Carl Weathers, bounty hunter leader Grief Karga, except he's now magistrate, now in a magistrate Grief Karga, Giancarlo Esposito, bad guy Moff Gideon, and Katie Sackhoff, Mandalorian, Bo-Katan Kryze. Christopher Lloyd was in a new Season 3 edition. It was just a cameo, wasn't it? As was Lizzo and Jack Black, joining the human cast as well as fan favourite Baby Yoda. I saw a funny meme about Christopher Lloyd being in it, saying he were playing Doc Brown, who'd used his time travel thing to go to the star, to a galaxy far, far away, and then it all got confused, and instead of him being a man in a DeLorean, he became the Mandalorian. It was funny. He had to be there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's delayed. But as I said, yeah, because people don't want to cross the picket lines. But if the scripts are finished, they should get on with it, shouldn't they? They should get on with it. Anyway, we'll leave it there. And we've got one more now. So let me make myself big again. One more, and finally, this is on Twitter. I saw this originally. There we go. I can't remember. I can't remember if it were on Geeks and Gamers. I can't remember if it were on their daily. Jeremy and Ryan's daily show, or if it were on Tuesday night's main event. I can't remember, but I saw it on one of those on Geeks and Gamers. I thought, I'll share that on my show as well. So, giving credit where credit's due, I didn't find it myself. Well, I did, because I had to go looking for it. But I first saw it over there. So anyway, it's cool. It's if the 1960s were the decade of superhero movies, so we're seeing legendary actors and actresses cast as superheroes, both DC and Marvel. So let's have a look at that. We're starting off with Marilyn Monroe as Harley Quinn. Are you ready? Wow, look at that. That is Marilyn Monroe as Harley Quinn. Looks amazing. This is all AI, I think. I think it's done on AI by Desert Shark at Grey_White. So I think they're AI. I'm guessing they're AI. Because some of them, there's a bit of a stretch. But you can see Marilyn. I can see that Marilyn Monroe as Harley Quinn. But yeah, that's cool. Then we've got Audrey Hepburn as Catwoman. Yeah, fine, I suppose. Fine. Lucille Ball as Poison Ivy. I can see that. That's a good one, in my opinion. Robert Redford as the Dark Knight, obviously as Batman. And I don't know. If you'd have shown me that, I'd have said, and said, who is that? I wouldn't have said Robert Redford. I wouldn't have known who it was, to be honest. Because some of these, they look a bit off. To some of these representations. It's got a bit of a Michael Caine vibe going on there, a young Michael Caine, in my opinion. But yeah, if it's Robert Redford, I'll take your word for it. But it looks cool. This one's a good one. Kirk Douglas as the Man of Steel, obviously Superman. But I think they've smoothed over his. Kirk Douglas is famous for his chin dimple, isn't he? And they kind of smoothed that over a bit. But yeah, that's good. Woody Allen as the Joker. Is that Woody Allen? If you say so. There's the glasses and the hair, but the rest of it, I don't know. Here we go. Gene Wilder as the Riddler. I think, yeah, cool, but it's just Willy Wonka, Peter Green, isn't it? That's all they've done there. But yeah, cool. Sophia Loren as Wonder Woman. Yes, I can see that. Oh, she was gorgeous, was Sophia Loren. She was. And there we go. A very spiky Wonder Woman, though. Clint Eastwood as Wolverine. Now that works, doesn't it? That works a lot. I'm guessing his blades aren't fully extended there, but and none on his other hand because they didn't put them in. That's a good one. Clark Gable as Tony Stark. I can see that. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. He'd fly off, leaving Atlanta to burn. Paul Newman as Captain America. Yeah, why not? Why not, indeed? A very young Paul Newman. Vincent Price as Doctor Strange. That's a good one. That's one of the better ones, to be honest. Very good. Do you remember the old Doctor Strange in 1978 with John Mills as I can't remember the name of his character, but the one that passed the mantle on to Doctor Strange. I can't remember the actor who played him. That was cool, that, if a bit rubbish. Sidney Poitier as Black Panther. Yeah, that'll work. That'd work. As I say, though, does that look like Sidney Poitier? I mean, it does a bit, but not a lot. Some of these representations of these characters are a little bit off, aren't they? To me, they are anyway. But never mind. But yes, that works. That's good. Grace Kelly as Mystique. Yeah, why not? Steve McQueen as Star-Lord. Yeah, why not, indeed? So some of these are really good and cool. But it could be anybody under there. Say Steve McQueen, but got goggles on, you can't really tell. Malcolm McDowell as Peter Parker. Yeah, I suppose. Wouldn't have been my first choice from the swinging 60s, Malcolm McDowell. But I don't know. Rita Hayworth as Scarlet Witch. Oh yes, that'll do. A very happy John Wayne as Thanos. He's obviously just throttling Loki there. He's very happy to do it. But for some reason, his glove isn't fitting over his thumb. Have you noticed? Anyway, Elizabeth Taylor as Black Widow. Yep. Why not? Marlon Brando. That's a Harry Enfield thing. Marlon Brando's the Punisher. Yeah. I mean, some of these you'd think, well, maybe they're from their actual films. They're stills from their actual films that they've made. I don't know, because that could be, couldn't it? For all I know, should have put the Punisher symbol on his shirt. Deadpool as Johnny Carson. Very funny. Very funny. Sammy Davis Jr. as Blade. Yeah. As I said, if you said, who is that? I wouldn't have said Sammy Davis Jr. because I just wouldn't. John Lennon as Loki. That's a bit of a stretch. Why John Lennon? But, okay. Okay. John Loki with a Liverpudlian accent. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Sorry, Scouse accent. Frida, is it Frida Kahlo or Kahlo? I always just know it as Frida as Enchantress. Yeah, why not? Why not? Should be doing all that. like the other lass did. Sean Connery as Thor. I am the mighty Thor. But it doesn't look quite right, that, does it? It's cool, but doesn't look quite right, that. That just looks a bit more like Magnum P.I. What the hell was his name? Tom Selleck. Looks more like Tom Selleck, doesn't he? But never mind. Alec Guinness in a wheelchair suddenly becomes Professor X. I mean, is that AI or is it just a photo of Alec Guinness in a wheelchair? I am going to read your mind. Charlton Heston as Magneto. Yep, why not? Why not? That's a very young. That's they're just a bit off, aren't they? They're ace. I'm loving looking at them, but there's just something a little bit off about them. Michael Caine as Cyclops. I mean, as I said, is that Michael Caine? You can't get to cover their eyes up. Oh dear. My name is Cyclops, and I'm going to blow you away with my eyes. Peter Lorre as Doc Ock, or is he playing H.P. Lovecraft? Don't know. Don't know. They don't seem attached to him, then, do they? So it's just Peter Lorre surrounded by tentacles. Jim Brown as Luke Cage again. Is that Jim Brown? I don't know. It's like a cross between Jim Brown and Eddie Murphy to me, but I never know. And is it just a photo of Jim Brown in New York or wherever this is? Don't know. There's more. Don't worry, there's more. Here we go. Is that Bane? I don't know what that's supposed to be. It could be anybody. Don't tell us either. And there's somebody being is that the Thing with whoever that is? I don't know. But what's going on here? Look, what's wrong with his arm? This thing about AI, isn't it? And there, what's that? Got a bit doolally there in the background, hasn't it? So is that supposed to be the Thing? From Fantastic Four? I've no idea because it's not telling us. People just saying it's amazing, and yeah, they are. But and is that Bane? I don't know. And who was it supposed to be playing him? I don't know. Victor Mature. You tell me. Is that him off Plan 9 from Outer Space? I can't remember the name of the big fella. I can't remember his name now. Anyway, let's keep going. Is there any more? I think that's it. I think that's the end of it. We don't get any rude stuff. Yeah, I think that's the end of that. Yes. So they're cool, aren't they? Especially the Marilyn Monroe one. And what else did I like? I like that one, Charlton Heston. That's just funny. What else did I like? I liked that one. Rita Hayworth. You know why I like that one. Oh dear. That's a good one. Sidney Poitier's Black Panther. That one, that's probably my favourite, is Vincent Price as Doctor Strange. And that one, no, that's my favourite. Clark Gable as Tony Stark. Vincent Price as Doctor Strange, second favourite. That's a good one. Clint Eastwood as Wolverine. That's just amazing because it's Sophia Loren. Just because for. But yeah, cool. I enjoyed looking at those. I hope you enjoyed looking at them as well. And there's Marilyn Monroe as Harley Quinn. There you go. So, right. That was it. That was me hand finally. We've done for the midweek news roundup. I hope you enjoyed that. Put myself big again. And remove that. Right. So, that's the end. That is the end, as Bilbo Baggins would say. Right. How long have we been going for? Oh, just over an hour. That's a good time to finish. So, thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time, I'll say this.